Hello, hello, hello. That should hopefully do it. Other than the lighting, which is of course garbage. Don't know why I have no idea why I didn't think of that sooner, but let me just turn on the lights real quick. Yeah, the lighting is just going to strobe for the rest of this live stream, but you know, it's better than having absolutely garbage lighting. That's just kind of the sad thing with this whole setup that I got going on. Like, I would love to have professional studio lights, but like, that's unfortunately not happening. Not in the current space that I am. And especially not with the current, with my budget as it is right now, unfortunately. Anyway, welcome to the live stream, everyone. As you probably know, I launched a new Koen's Corner today, and if you don't know, then you should probably give it a watch, because it's a good one. I'd say it's a good one anyway. It's one of the very few videos that I could actually say I'm pretty proud of. There's still a lot of kinks in the cable with it. But it is actually one that I'm quite happy with as far as the topic that I discussed in it, and also the overall quality of the video itself, I'd say. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it because it's a good one. It's called Pixar Animated Movies for the Lonely, and it is one of the very few videos that I'm actually really happy with. So, me being a shill out of the way, actually no, we're not quite done with it, are we? I mean, I could. Yeah, no, we're gonna save that for a little bit later in the live stream, I think. I don't like to shill all of my stuff, all of my other socials and stuff, and other places you can find me at the beginning of the live stream. I don't think that's really the way that I want to go about this. Way too many people do that already as is, and I don't want to be one of those content creators. So, we're not doing that. So, hey, hope you all are having a wonderful day anyway. And hope you all are... where was I gonna go with that sentence? I have no clue. But anyway, it's such a good start to a good live stream, isn't it? I love having a good beginning to my live streams. Hope you are doing fine too. Eating my soup right now. Hope you eat well. Yeah, I'm actually doing pretty good. I certainly cannot complain too much. Released a new Koen's Corner today, which was really nice. I actually wanted to talk a little bit about that Koen's Corner, because not necessarily the video itself, because the video kind of speaks for itself, I would think. But I more so wanted to talk about the editing process for it, because the editing for it was really interesting, but not for the reasons that you might be thinking. Let me just open up DaVinci Resolve real quick, and I'll just show you what I mean. Because my goodness, is this ever interesting? So this is a completely different program that I've used for this process. In the past, I've pretty much exclusively used Adobe Premiere Pro for all of my edits. That is no longer the case. I decided to switch away from DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro entirely, and pretty much all of Adobe's programs. And I will exclusively be using DaVinci Resolve for my editing work from this point forward. So, if you're gonna be watching any future Koen's Corners, chances are it's done, it's been edited inside of this program. And there's a very good reason for that. And the biggest reason is because Adobe is, quite frankly, a garbage company who I no longer want to send my money. I had to pay for Adobe software because pirating it is just not a practical option for me. Or it never was a practical option for me, because a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of, because I haven't really edited for a lot of content creators, but a fair few content creators just require you to use the most latest version of an editing program that you can that is available, because of a lot of feature and because of a lot of changes or differences between the different versions of Adobe Premiere with features and with a lot of under the hood things. Adobe Premiere is not backwards compatible, so I cannot open an Adobe Premiere project file in an older version of Adobe Premiere, which is really sad. Where'd you go into holiday? I did, actually, but the problem was we decided to get back home early due to the weather not being cooperative with us. The weather was just not going to work. It was just gonna rain like crazy for like half of the week. So we decided to not stay. My mom and I decided to just get back home early. It was really bad. The weather was just absolutely horrible. It doesn't help that we went camping. Either. So we were in a tent, and it was not especially good if we wanted to stay. If we wanted to actually finish the week there, we would end up getting home very, very wet, and the tent would just be completely soaked, and it would not be good. So no, we ended up just not doing that in the end. It kind of sucks, because I was kind of enjoying the peace and quiet. Well, not necessarily the quiet, because there were children literally everywhere in that park that we went to. So, and they were all under the age of like 5 or something like that. So they were all just screaming and crying literally all day, and it was kind of annoying. So I didn't really get a lot of peace and quiet. Kind of sucks, but it's what it is. The weather gods just kind of, they do what they do, I guess. There's nothing that you can do to stop that, really. It's nothing really that that I'm all that bothered by, honestly. It is what it is, indeed. You hit the nail right on the head, my guy. Also, I should probably not be flipping this particular ballad song. I was thinking, you know what? Let's just flip my beautiful purple ballad song. This is the Volp, which I really enjoy. There's just one small problem, and that is that it is just really, really loud. You could probably hear it if I was to... Like, it rings like crazy. It's really, really loud. And I do like that about it, but it just makes it a little bit... especially when when I flip for long enough, it actually tends to hurt my ears a lot more than I would personally like. So I might actually just switch over to something else a little bit later. I love being in complete silence. You and me both, my guy. Well, not necessarily complete silence. Not necessarily complete silence. Because the thing is, silence can be really nice sometimes, but it can also get extremely uncomfortable really quick. Because the loudest noise you can hear is not necessarily noise itself, it's silence. Because when all you have is silence around you, like there's absolutely no noise going on whatsoever, it honestly gets really uncomfortable. For me personally, anyway, and that is part of the reason why I always play I've been playing a lot of lo-fi music in my live streams. So I actually just put together this entire playlist of lo-fi music for the exact reason that I don't like to have a silent live stream anymore. I would much rather just play a little bit of music in the background and enjoy that, you know. But yeah, I personally just am not a huge fan of silence. It's also part of the reason why whenever I'm doing literally anything at my computer, either I'm watching a YouTube video in the background or I'm listening to some good music. I actually brought this up a number of times before in Koen's Corner and in my live streams and such, but I have this utterly massive playlist on Spotify for that exact reason. Like, there's more than 9,300 songs in this. And it's still growing. Every single day I still add more songs to this. Because I just really love music that much. Actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure there should be a share. Yeah, there we go. Let me just take the link to this. And I'm gonna put this here for you guys to listen to. Oh, oops, I forgot the link. There we go. Check out this Spotify playlist that I put together. It is really fun to listen to. I love my my playlist. Let me actually just... No, should I pin that? No, let's not pin that. I don't think that's really important enough to ping. Didn't notice you posted a new video. That's fair, man. It's all good. It's all good, Sparky. I would highly recommend you watch it though. It's a really fun video. It's one that I'm actually quite proud of, even though I didn't really put all that much effort into the editing of it. Like, even if you were just to look at the timeline that I put together for some of these segments that I put together, there's really not a whole lot going on here. It might look like there's a lot going on, but it's really just one backdrop with a bunch of images on top. That's all that I really did for this particular project. So, I mean, I still really like it. I still like what I put together here, but it's really nothing to write home about, in all honesty. But hey, I still really enjoyed the editing process of this, and I'm still really, really proud of what I put together. Because it's on a topic that I'm extremely passionate about. It has to do with loneliness and Pixar movies and all of that stuff. And also just kind of mental health in general, which I think would be meaningful to someone watching. At least that's what I would hope that it would mean something to someone. I just now realized that this video is actually not all that long. The video is under 10 minutes. And I don't know, I don't necessarily think that, no, it was not intentional. I did not intend for the video to be that short. I was actually expecting it to be at the very least 15 minutes long, because a lot of my bigger videos these days are pretty long, I think. I meditate a lot, and that also helps me to put my thoughts in check. I'd say that's a really good way to do that, actually. Meditating is definitely something that a lot of people would just straight up recommend to... I've had some people recommend meditation to me as well over the years, and they were all like, you should totally do this. It is extremely good for your mental health. It will help you so much through some of your hardest times. But I just never got the motivation to actually do it. I know it kind of sounds like a dumb excuse, but I genuinely just never really had the motivation to try some of it, to try meditating. So usually, whenever I wanted to just chill out and get my thoughts in check, or actually just empty my mind on literally anything, I would just play a fun game of Minecraft or whatever. Minecraft is usually a very good way for me to just kind of empty my mind for a little bit and do something. And the reason why is because Minecraft is just one of those games where it's incredibly easy to just get lost in it. And to just build something, or even something as mundane as mining, can be really therapeutic, I'd say. Only difference, I meditate with crystals. I have no idea that I didn't even know that that was even a thing. I have a bunch of them. I had no idea that people actually meditated with crystals, but yeah. But yeah, let's actually see. Do I have Minecraft set up on this gaming scene? I do, but it's in a really crappy... Yeah, I keep flip-flopping back and forth between my main display and my ultra-wide. Well, actually, my ultra-wide nowadays is kind of my main display. I have an ultra-wide display that I use for gaming these days. For obvious reasons. I just think that ultra-wide gaming is a really cool way to game. Like, I love playing my games on an ultra-wide display these days. It's a little bit, it's a little unwieldy, though, if you want to live stream, and if you want to play, if you want to do live streaming games or whatever. It can get a little bit challenging to live stream playing video games with an ultra-wide, because ultra-wide is just a bitch to live stream in a 16:9 aspect ratio. Crystals do have powers. If you're sensitive to that stuff, you'll feel it. What kind of powers do crystals do those crystals have? You made me genuinely extremely curious. Depends. Depends on the type. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I didn't even realize that there were more than just one type. I always thought that all crystals were the same. I never really put all that much thought into that kind of thing. Like, I actually have this one image. Oh my goodness, this is my, I'm just streaming my, my main display here. Oh, okay. Whatever, I'll just keep it at that. Maybe I should not, because it might contain some stuff that YouTube probably does not agree with. But one day I actually, God, I can't speak all of a sudden. One day I decided to make, or to commission an art piece that I've been using on my end screen for quite some time now. And it's this beautiful wallpaper of Phoenix just chilling out in a cave, and it has these orange crystals in the top left. Or like some sort of gem or whatever. I still haven't really figured out what I wanted that to be. I did decide on that this is actually where Phoenix lives, in a small cave with these beautiful orange crystals. Probably in a lot more places than what is being showcased here. This was made by Nini Draws at the time that this was made. And I was like, I want Phoenix to sit in a cave with a scarf on, obviously. You gotta have a scarf. sitting at a fire, which he obviously could not have possibly put up because, you know, boss and whatnot, doesn't have any fingers or whatever. I hardly doubt that he even had a lighter there, but, you know, it doesn't. Those are the kind of details that don't really matter all that much. And obviously, I also just said, do something fun with the outside scene. Have it rain or something like that. Make something cool out of it. And she did a phenomenal job. But yeah, she had these. Phoenix has these crystals in his cave, and I never really thought that much about what I want those crystals to be. If I want them to have any magic to them, or anything else. Obviously, Phoenix is an equestrian character. I based him off of My Little Pony stuff. So I could potentially just make it so that these crystals have some kind of magic to them or whatever, but I have no idea how I could make that actually work into Phoenix's backstory. Which I still have to... It's something that I've been trying to figure out in the past. Where I really wanted Phoenix to have some sort of a backstory, but I never really figured out what I wanted to do with it. So I kind of just dropped it. I had a couple of ideas for a backstory, but those never really came to fruition. So I don't know. Maybe I will get back to that at some point, but not anytime soon anyway, because it's just not something that I have all that much inspiration for. Nor did I actually ever have that much of a desire to give him a very elaborate backstory. I know that some people believe that it is a requirement for a My Little Pony character, or any character for that matter, to have a backstory. I don't think that it's necessarily required for Phoenix specifically, because I think that the character works really well even without a backstory. But then again, the character that I want to portray is also extremely flexible. I very deliberately made him so that he is about as flexible as he could possibly be in the character that he is. I don't really have a set personality for him, or a specific vibe that I want to go for with him. All that Phoenix really needs to be is just a cute, fun wolf, enthusiastic, cheery, you know, that kind of thing. Which is, yeah. I was watching a ghost hunter going alone into a haunted house, and I was like, that motion device, the device will go off, and right at the moment I started to make the sound of that device goes off. That is freaky as hell. It's always wonderful. That's the kind of thing that you just cannot script, right? It's just something that kind of happens. You don't really have all that much control over it, and it's just... You never know what's going to happen, or when it's going to happen, and then you kind of just call it the second that it happens. It's really weird. Yeah. I'm paranormally gifted. Yeah, that's true. You told me about that a little while ago, actually, also on a live stream, which is interesting. People always just tell me the wildest stuff on these live streams. I love it. All sorts of different stories to tell. We all have our own experiences in life, and our own things going on. And I think it's awesome that we actually get to talk about that stuff here. I love that. It's kind of why I do these live streams in the first place, actually. Like, I enjoy really talking about random topics that just randomly sprung to mind. I actually talked about that a little while ago. No, actually, not that it was quite some time ago, actually, that I talked about live streaming and why I enjoy it and why it can also be a bit of a nightmare. I've had so many issues with so many different live streams that I've done in the past. Honestly, the fact that most of my live streams these days are actually working pretty well is pretty crazy. 3 streams ago, no, I have no idea. I do so many of these. Well, not... Okay, I should not say that. I don't really do these as often as I used to, but I tend to do so many of these once in a while that I kind of lose count as to when I talk about a specific topic, so I don't know. Philip is really enjoying the music, I see, which is actually really... I'm really glad that people are enjoying my new style of content in terms of presentation and in terms of the vibe that I want to create. I've been watching a lot of content from other content creators lately, kind of outside of the scope of cartoons. Like, a lot of content that I've been watching in the last couple of years have been either animation related, they have been tech related, or they have been butterfly knife related in the last year. And there was one content creator in particular, Telestro, who had such a good vibe in his videos. It was so chill and very casual, and it wasn't quite as in your face as a lot of other videos that I've seen in the past. Like, I've seen so many videos for some reason just have a lot of house and dubstep or even hip-hop kind of style music that... and also just really busy and heavy editing all over the place, and it was fun while for a while, but at some point you just get really tired of it because it just becomes really tiring to watch and to listen to. And then I found Telestro, who uses very chill music like what you're listening to right now. And I honestly just got really obsessed with that kind of style, to the point where I actually wanted to make my own videos in a similar style and in a similar thing. There's still a lot that I need to figure out as to my editing and all of that stuff, but I do feel like I'm getting somewhere. This might be a weird question and random, but do you feel watched at random points? Not necessarily. But do you mean that in a good sense or in a bad sense? Or doesn't that matter to you at this, because, as someone who has, lost, my, some family members, not by anything particularly bad or anything like that, they just passed away, of old age and whatnot, but, actually, my grandmother died from cancer. So, not necessarily old age, but she was also getting pretty old. But that's besides the point. And I often have get this feeling that they are watching me from behind my shoulders or whatever. So I guess in a way, but probably not in the same way as you are. I can sense someone, yeah, like that. Yeah, I don't really experience it in the same way as you probably would be experiencing it, which is understandable, of course. We are two completely different people, and you have certain gifts that I do not, so, you know. Also, this live stream got unnecessarily personal all of a sudden there. But anyway. Let's see. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. That kind of stuff just kind of happens around here, I guess. We all have something to be proud of. I mean... Hang on a second. I mean, as someone who identifies as a wolf... I can't say you're wrong about that. Also, since you guys are also from the Netherlands, did you guys see the Pride Parade today on with Avrotros or whatever? Mm. Yeah, neither have I, honestly. Honestly, don't even know why I asked that. It seems like kind of a pointless question if I haven't seen it myself either. Or maybe not, depends on how you look at it. But anyway, I haven't seen it either. Like, I had, honestly, usually, when Gay Pride comes up on TV, I'd be like, yeah, I actually kind of want to see it. Because I always really enjoy what kind the kind of stuff that comes up on there. There is some really bizarre stuff to be seen during the Pride Parade, but that's kind of the whole point, because there's so many different kinds of people there who are just expressing themselves at that one event. So it's kind of the point to have all sorts of weird, random people be there. And I don't mean weird in, like, a bad way or something like that, you know? Please don't take that the wrong way, but, it's really cool and really fun to see. And for the record, no one is weird, at Koen's Corner. Everyone is equal, everyone is the same. Regardless of what you identify as or what kind of stuff you enjoy, we're all equals. We're all made of flesh and blood. We all live under the same sun, and that's by that logic, I will treat everyone as equals. Don't care who you are. Some people will have a problem with that, and well, to those people, I say, fuck off disrespectfully. Anyway. I keep my distance from that topic. I have my own POV about that. I mean... fair enough, I suppose. So long as you treat everyone like equals, I don't care what your perspective on that is. But yeah. The Gay Pride was not necessarily something that I had any intention of checking out this year, though. For some reason. There was just other stuff that I wanted to get into. That Koen's Corner that I worked on, that I finished today. And some other things that I wanted to figure out. There was so much stuff that I wanted to, that I would have much rather done than to watch the Gay Parade. Or Gay Pride, or Pride Parade, whatever you want to call it. My mom, actually, missed out on it. She likes watching the Gay Pride every year, just because she just really enjoys seeing what kind of people are there, and she also just thinks it's a great party to watch, which I think is perfectly reasonable. It's not necessarily the point of gay pride, but it is cool that someone actually sees it that way. And she was like, should we rewind the gay pride? Do you want to watch it? And I was like, nah. I really don't really have any desire to watch it right now, but maybe later. Maybe sometime later. I bought a new crystal yesterday too, and it is my biggest one. It's 2.5 kilograms. Good lord, my guy. I mean, hey. You do you, my guy. To be clear, I am not gonna be one to judge. I have a pretty unnecessarily big collection of butterfly knife trainers. One of which isn't even a trainer. One of these things is actually a live blade. So this thing is sharp as hell as well. I'm not gonna be flipping it too much because obvious reasons. But I also have a crap ton of plushies back here. A lot of retro computers that are literally just sitting here right now. They don't really serve too much of a... They're not exactly functional. They're functional, but they don't really do much right now. Because, well, I just don't really have the space to do much with them at this moment. Which is kind of a shame. I kind of wish that I had a little bit more space to do anything with these retro computers. As it is right now, they're just kind of sitting here in a small corner, really doing nothing at all. They're just collecting dust, and I think that is such a it is such a saddening thing for me, honestly. Not necessarily just as a collector, but also as someone who really takes a lot, who really wants to use these things, but I just cannot do that right now. I do have one Apple iMac sitting here, which is an educational iMac from way back in the day. I believe it came out in 2003 or something. And the one purpose it serves is to be a oversized jukebox. And I say oversized because it's not a particularly big screen. It's relatively small in the grand scheme of things. But the thing is, like, this big in terms of the thickness of it. And that is because it has a CRT display. So not only is it bulky, but it's also heavy like hell. That's your passion, and I like it. I like it when you flip your ballad song. It looks cool. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I've actually been getting a little bit better at flipping lately. I'm still not good. I still would not consider myself a good flipper. I'm still very much a beginner. I might actually call myself a intermediate flipper or anything like that, you know, but I still wouldn't necessarily call myself good by any means. Some people would argue with me on that one, but I'm definitely not a good flipper in the slightest just yet. I still have so much to learn. Speaking of ballad songs, however, I am actually expecting a package to come in the mail a little bit later. It is going to be of a really cool ballad song that I've been wanting to get my hands on, or my paws on, whatever you want to call it, for the longest time. Let me actually just show you what it looks like. It's really sick. It's this beautiful thing right here. Now, it is a clone, meaning that someone took an already existing design and just put their own logo in it and is selling it as their own for a lot cheaper. But the reason that I bought this is because, for one thing, it is really not worth it for the official pricing that it's at. Like, the authentic version of this, which is the replicant, costs nearly 400 euros, which is really not worth it for the kind of ballad song that it is. So I ended up buying this clone of it. And the reason I bought a clone, I actually already own a clone that is kind of similar to that, but it has a different blade to it. This has a Hourglass Tonto blade, which is actually a second-hand one. I didn't know you had a Discord server, so I joined. I had the Discord server for quite some time. Very few people in the Koen's Corner community or PhoenixStarYT community, whatever you want to call it, actually knows about it, because I don't really talk about it that much. I've actually made it a point to talk about it a little bit more than I used to. And to also put it in the description of every single Koen's Corner that I'm going to be posting from this point forward. So, yeah. But yeah, anyway, this right here is actually a clone of the original blade of the ballad song that this is cloning. And also, the specific variant that I bought has this white G10, as it's called. It's a fiberglass kind of material. They also had this exact one in black when I decided to buy this. I decided to not buy the black version of this because I personally am not a huge fan of the way that black G10 tends to look. It looks a little bit rougher, a little bit dirty. White G10, you'll probably not be able to see it that well with this. But I really like the look of white G10. It looks clean as hell. It doesn't really look that great on this camera that I'm currently using, but I think this looks sick. So I decided to just buy this particular variant of it. And the particular clone that I decided to buy this time has an original blade clone. So that's why I decided to buy that one. It's going to be really exciting. I'm thinking of also making a unboxing video of me just unboxing that ballad song and flipping it for the first time, just to see what it's like out of the box and to give people my thoughts on it from the get-go. I don't know how many people would actually be interested in seeing that, honestly, because ballad song content typically doesn't really get all that much attention these days. It used to get a lot of attention for quite some time. But at some point in time, interest in ballad song content just kind of died off for some reason. Isn't there a martial arts that uses those things? Actually, yeah. It's interesting you asked that, because butterfly knives actually were used as more of a weapon once than an actual skill toy. They were used in combative arts. I'm not entirely certain what martial arts it was used in. Because they aren't really martial arts knives. They aren't exactly weapons for that kind of thing. Because they were based, they were created in a country that as far as I'm aware anyway, doesn't really do martial arts. They were created in the Philippines, and they were exclusively used as either tools back then or as weapons. Usually one of those two. So now ballad songs are a subculture around flow arts, which is kind of like the flow stick, which or yo-yos or whatever, which are kind of flowy skill toys. Like the yo-yo can do all sorts of crazy tricks with that if you know how to properly use it. Same goes for pen spinning. Same goes for tech decks and all that. Those are all subcultures around flow arts. And ballad songs is another example of that. So, not necessarily martial arts, but definitely a type of flow art, whatever. And this thing is terrifying to flip. I'm not gonna flip this any more than I already did. I already did the basic open, and that was already scary enough as is. As long as you are happy making the content, that's all that matters. Yeah, but the problem with YouTube is that I also, like, I don't really care that much about numbers or whatever. Because numbers on YouTube in general these days are artificial at best. Like, the amount of subscribers, a perfect example is my subscriber count has not reflected the actual audience that I have these days. Like, the audience that I have just does not seem to exist whatsoever anymore. There have been exceptions in the last couple of months where I would post one video that would get 50 views in 24 hours, but everything else would just get less than 20 in 24 hours. If a video obtains 50 views within 24 hours, I would consider that a success. And I say that I don't really care that much about numbers, but that is mainly because I'm mostly making these videos because I genuinely enjoy making them. But I also like for them to get recognized and to have a set of eyes on them. To have people actually see them and get something out of it. I don't necessarily enjoy making videos only for them to not be seen by someone and get something out of it. Like, what I make content for is to either inspire someone, inform someone, maybe entertain someone watching. And if nobody is actually watching my content or getting something or get something out of it, then I would personally consider that a failure. I don't necessarily care if a video does well. I just want people to be able to see the content that I make and get something out of it. Like, a perfect example, let me actually see if I can find an example of this. Let me just go to the YouTube studio real quick. Yeah, I can close out of this, that's fine. I don't really care about that thing. The live stream panel is worthless to me, I don't really check it. Let's see, if the Pixar video does not do particularly well, if it doesn't reach a lot of people, that would honestly be very upsetting to me. Because I genuinely put so much heart into that video. It doesn't seem like it, given the video is not exactly long. And the editing style in it is about as minimal as it gets. It's a very simple video. But it covers a topic that is so special to me and that I genuinely have a very strong feeling about. And I would love for people to see it and to maybe also get inspired by it or whatever. Or get something out of it. The I Quit Phantom Strider, the end of PSYT edits plus flipping ballad songs video for some reason has over 50 views. It's a video of me literally sitting in my computer chair and just flipping ballad songs and talking about quitting my job. It's nearly 30 minutes of me saying so much, but at the same time also just saying literally nothing. It's all about just me quitting my editing job. And it's... I despise how many videos, how many views that video has. But some of my videos where I just kind of sitting down and chilling and talking about stuff. Hosting Minecraft servers has been really, really fun. Has 15 views. The Minecraft Chronicles Alpha V 1.0.4 has 17 views. Getting a job and losing a family member has 37. And I find it really depressing that that is another example of a video that has a lot more views than any other video that I posted. Because it's a video about something really, really serious and really bad happening in my life. That has been getting a lot more attention than something that I'm genuinely enthusiastic about. Like, I was not enthusiastic making that video. I was honestly kind of sad. When I was creating videos, I thought, I thought, will this video do good or not? But some did really great and some were shit. Yeah, that's the story of any content creator's life. Just Waffle basically roughly said, yeah, that's basic. To be fair though, that's basically all that my YouTube videos are nowadays. All of my videos are just basically me yapping about something random that comes to mind. Why retro games are more popular than ever today is one of my most successful videos in the last couple of months. And it is actually the one that I'm the happiest about out of all of the videos that I produced in the last few months. Because this is actually a video that I put so much time and so much effort into. And also a lot of research went into that one. It was so... damn. It was kind of taxing, actually. And the Phantom Strider shitpost. The last one that I will ever post. That has almost 60 views. It is crazy. The kind of crap that I would often post. Oh my god. Yeah. Music reaction videos. I remember back when I made music reaction videos, I eventually got emails from small bands to react to their music. That is actually pretty cool. Like, generally, that is really... That is really cool. I would love for something like that to happen to me. I don't know if it ever will happen. I know that there's actually a surprising amount of people in the ballad song community who have had... who have been... contacted by ballad song companies like... what exactly am I saying? Let me say that again. I know that there's a lot of ballad song YouTubers, very small ballad song YouTubers even, like about the same size as my channel has right now, who have been contacted by ballad song companies like Nabalas and LDY and even BB Barfly and all of those guys. None of those names will make any sense to you if you are not into ballad songs at all, but that's besides the point. They were contacted by these guys, these YouTubers, and they were offered to be sent a review unit of one of their ballad songs. Like, Nabalas would straight up just ask a random YouTuber to check out one of their ballad songs, and you would then see 4 videos in a row of them just sending a random ballad song to that YouTuber, and that YouTuber would just be making a ton of videos on the ballad songs that the ballads would send them. Like, if you want to be a successful, well, not necessarily successful, but if you want to receive free products from pretty big companies, make ballad song content, I guess. If you want to get a ballad song collection or something like that, I think that's so fun. But that's also really cool that that you were contacted by several small bands to react to their music. That's so cool. Like, I would love to be able to receive emails from companies to be like, hey, we like your stuff. Would you like to review our product? Like, I would gladly take someone up on that offer. I would gladly, like, if Nabalis was to send me another one of these little guys, like this specific one, you can't really see how beautiful it is, because the lighting is so terrible. I would absolutely take Nabalis up on the offer, like, hey, Koen, we noticed this video that you made on Nabalis Wing. Would you like another one in a different color and maybe with a better tune on it, and with a little bit of a better tune on it, because this thing taps a little bit. I don't know if you can hear that, but it does tap ever so slightly. Which is honestly fine. I don't really mind it that much, but, you know. It was getting on my nerves. I was stressing a lot. If I didn't quit, I would have had like 1 million subs. Damn, that's crazy to think about. I was going sky high. That is genuinely crazy to think about. How different YouTube would be if you were to just keep going and do what you do and react to music. Honestly, it makes me think if I should do something like that for... No, I'm not going to do something like that for Koen's Corner. Reaction channels. Absolutely no offense to anyone who makes reaction content, but I just do not understand reaction channels. I think they're just kinda... There's only one reaction channel that I actually kind of enjoyed back in the day, and it was the React channel by the Fine Brothers. Which is now owned by the React Corporation, I think. So, yeah. Companies actually wreck... What? Wreck Ching? What is that saying? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to tell me, boy? I might do that. This thing just went flying. Oh, reaching. Yeah. Companies actually reaching out to do your favorite thing is amazing. Yeah. It's honestly just kind of amazing. I've received a couple of different emails actually from a variety of places, from a variety of people from different companies who specialize in helping content creators like myself, very small content creators, in helping us grow our YouTube channel. The problem is I know what the tricks are to grow my YouTube channel a little bit more, and they tend to not necessarily do it for me. Because it usually comes down to bribing the algorithm in some way, manipulating it, bending it to your will, and it usually revolves around clickbait and all sorts of stuff. And it also revolves around getting an upload schedule going on that I just don't feel like I want to do. Because the thing is, like I said, I just don't really care that much for the numbers to begin with. And I also don't want this to become too much of a grind. Because if I was to turn this into too much of a grind, then it would feel a lot more like work than just a hobby. And I do not want to reach that point. This is still just a fun hobby for me, and it will always be just a fun hobby. If I ever end up making good money out of this, then that would be awesome. But it will never be anything more than a hobby for me. Which I know is crazy to say for any content creator online. But that's just how I feel about it. I started reacting to Metallica songs and talk about the stuff that was going on. Yo! Metallica, such a good freaking sound to it. That is an excellent way to start, honestly. I love that. Also, man of absolute freaking culture you are. Metallica is awesome. I don't really listen to that stuff anywhere near enough. I should honestly just listen to their music a lot more than I am. But I also just enjoy so many different bands and so many different kinds of music that it's honestly kind of difficult to really keep up anymore. Like one of my favorite bands of all time is Black Sabbath. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Because their sound is just so good. And honestly, I have yet to find a single song that I don't think sounds good. I love every one of their songs that I listen to. The views were from 500 plus to 2,500. That is crazy. That's the amount of views that I would actually get on some of my shit posts, which is insane to think about. Oh my goodness. Oh, looking at some of my most popular videos is some of the most upsetting things I've ever seen in my life. Out of all of these are the most popular videos that I uploaded. Literally almost every single one of them is a shitpost, and one of them is a tutorial on how to set up a Minecraft server on a VPS. And other than that one video, literally every one of these is Phantom Strider related. And one of them has nearly 600 likes. You guys! If you're gonna be watching my my stuff, just do me one favor. At the very least, watch my actual content. Oh, it hurts my soul that my shitposts are getting so many views. Especially because a lot of them are they're just not even my content. They're someone else. Feest in de tent van Peroest tot Permanent. The lyric goes, feest in de tent van Goest tot Purmerend. Oh, you're not even freaking close, my guy. Feest in de tent van Goest tot Purmerend. Als we komen spelen met de band. Sorry. I was doing that for like a weekend that time. Wow. That is actually really cool. That's when your Dutch is getting worse. I mean, okay. I will say though, my Dutch in ever since I started talking English as much as I have in the last 7 years, my Dutch has gone a little bit worse. It's still good. I will say it is still good, but it's definitely not quite as good as it once used to be. And it mostly comes down to when you talk as much English as much as I do for my YouTube content, but also because I interact with a lot of international communities who all talk in English. The more English you speak, the more you also start to think in English, and the more Dutch becomes a little bit of a challenge, because the problem is there's so many words that can be used interchangeably with each other in English, and there aren't really all that many words that can be used interchangeably in Dutch. So a lot of Dutch words can only be used in just one context, and at the complete other end of the spectrum, you have English, where a lot of words can be used in so many different contexts, and in a lot of different ways, that it actually makes the language a lot more fun to use. You can actually just experiment with it and make up your own shit as you go. With Dutch, there is just a ridiculous amount of rules to it that honestly make the language just not quite as nice to use to me anymore. But because I also just talk so much English, I often just kind of forget what words to use in what context in Dutch, and also my sentences tend to be all over the damn place. Like they just get worse and worse the more time goes on, and I feel like the more English I speak, the more the worse that's going to get. Actually kind of makes you think if I should actually kind of makes me think if I should just stop talking English altogether, which I will not. I will say that because I kind of have to. If I want to do this YouTube thing on this channel, I have to be speaking English, and also to interact with my own community and with other communities that I like to interact with. I kind of have to keep talking English as much as I do right now. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'll do. And no one is going to stop me from doing that either. I'm not gonna stop talking English anytime soon. I'm gonna keep doing that. Comes from the guy that learns Latin. That is a really awesome thing. Latin, that's a fascinating language to learn, especially because I don't think anyone really speaks Latin anymore. I mean, I guess kind of, there's Latino Spanish, I believe there was. But I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see. I'm just gonna check something mid live stream. I think I can do that, right? Just really excited for my new ballad song to come in, honestly. So just kind of want to see where it's at right now. I'm not gonna show any of it, obviously. Yeah. It's still in transit. But oh well, that's fine. That's fine. If it's still in transit, then at the very least, it's still on its way. I just hope that the same thing doesn't happen to me again, where the track and trace tells me, hey, your package is gonna arrive today, and then all of a sudden they just randomly decide, no, it's not gonna arrive today, we're gonna be sending it back to where it came from. And I'm just gonna be sitting here being all like, son of a bitch, come on. It's actually, I'm not joking when I say that either. That actually happened to me before. I purchased this thing, which is actually, it has a loose screw. I kind of just want to tighten that screw real quick. Let me just grab my toolkit. Because that screw is just getting looser and looser by the day, as I flip it. I'm not flipping it that much for that very reason, by the way. Like, I love this trainer. I'm gonna show it in a little bit, but I'm first gonna have to tighten the screws a little bit. Otherwise, it's gonna fall apart on me, and I don't want that to happen right now. Where is my T10 bit? Oh, I really wish that they just labeled these a little bit better. Alright. I'm gonna take this screw, I'm just gonna tighten it a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. I'm now able to translate Latin to English and vice versa. That is sick. That is sick. I would love to be able to do the same thing, but with Japanese. The Japanese language is fascinating, and I would love to be able to learn it. To be able to speak it, but also to be able to read it and to translate it. That would be freaking epic. The problem is that there's more than one alphabet to Japanese, which makes it a little bit more of a pain in the ass than it really needs to be. But that also makes learning the language all the more fun. At least if you're me and if you're crazy. So yeah. Let me tell you a little story about a package getting stuck in transit. I can read a little bit of Korean. That is really cool. From what I understand, Korean is actually a lot easier to learn than some people might realize, and that is all due to the because of how the Korean alphabet is structured and put together. It's really not. Okay. Like, I've heard that, okay, like, maybe it's not quite as easy to translate, but I know that learning to speak the Korean language, from what I understand anyway, is a lot easier than some other Asian languages that I've seen. Like, if you wanted to learn Chinese, or especially Japanese, which Japanese has 2 alphabets to it, that one, I know, can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. But anyway, shifting gears a little bit, I wanted to tell you a story about this ballad song that I obtained a little while ago. Man, this thing is gorgeous to look at. I love the look of this. This thing came at my door, and it is, it had quite the journey. So first of all, when I ordered this thing, the Zenith trainer from Flightanium, I bought it directly off of Flightanium. It's really not the greatest flipper in the world, but I still really like it. It works what I need it to do, and that is to just simply flip. It sounds great. And it also has a very slight ring that is not quite as annoying as my freaking Volp is. Anyway, when I ordered this trainer, it was supposed to come in about a couple of weeks or so. it came from the United States all the way to the Netherlands. So that's obviously quite the travel. And at one point, the track and trace, the tracker, whatever you want to call it, told me that it was at the post office and it was going to come in a couple of days. Let's say 3 or 4 days or something like that. Don't fully remember. Well, 7 days pass and I received nothing. And according to the track and trace, the package was still at the post office being sorted or whatever, or it was still supposed to come in. So the frustrating part about that is that they straight up lied to me, and this thing was never even going to arrive. It arrived at the post office, or it was never going to be delivered, is what I meant. So it arrived at the post office, and after about a week or so, they were suddenly like, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to send this back to where it came from. And I'm like, I beg your pardon? So I called up the post office about that, and they were like, yeah, it seems like there was some kind of mistake that occurred. Something did not exactly go well at the post office, so it's being sent back. Our apologies for that. So what I had to do after that was I had to contact the company that makes these, Flightanium, in this case, and I had to tell them the whole scenario, that something went wrong at the post office and this thing was getting sent back to them, and they had absolutely incredible customer support, and they were like, send us your address and we will send you a brand new one. And that is what we're looking at right here. So this thing has a little bit of a story behind it, and I think that is so freaking cool. Thing was already kind of cool to me because this is based on a legendary balisong design from a long time ago, from the early 2010s, I believe it was. So this kind of already had a pretty interesting story behind it, but now it has even more of a story behind it, because now it's actually a lot more personal. And I think that is so cool, and I love it. Come to think of it, those things aren't classified as knives, no? I hate to break it to you, but yes, they are. Like, Dutch law, the Dutch weapon law does classify trainers as knives or as weapons. So, in the Netherlands, it is illegal to own any balisong of any kind. It doesn't matter if it's sharp like this beautiful boy right here. It doesn't matter if it has a dull edge to it, so it has a blade like this, but it's not sharp at all. That does not matter either. It doesn't matter if the blade has all sorts of if the blade is a trainer like this and has a bunch of holes in it, and it doesn't matter if the blade has a bottle opener like this, and it doesn't even matter if the balisong is made out of plastic like this. Like, even something as harmless and as safe and as friendly even as a plastic trainer that looks like an owl, like this thing straight up looks like an owl, is covered under weapon law in the Netherlands, unfortunately. So, no matter which one of these I carry in public, no matter how harmless it looks, it is still a balisong, it is still a butterfly knife, and it is still considered a weapon. Which I just think is the stupidest thing in the world. Like, I don't understand I know that Dutch law can be really, really strict on a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. And I know that, okay, for a lot of these kinds of things, especially for things that are deliberately designed to look like a knife, like a lot of balisong trainers like this are very specifically designed to look like an actual knife. The Zenith blade obviously has a big hole in it, so this thing is not going to do any harm to anybody. The Volp is a trainer blade, but it's designed to look like an actual knife, but it has a little bottle opener here, and it has all of these holes. And this particular one even has a purple coating on it that is supposed to make it look a lot more like a toy than an actual knife. And the Squiddy doesn't even look remotely like an actual knife. It looks like an owl or whatever. Now this thing I can kind of see, but also not at the same time, because it does have a blade that makes it look like a sharp knife, but it also has this white G10 and the cyan handles right here that you once again cannot see because the webcam is garbage. So there's just all of these things that make these things, in my eye anyway, not look remotely friendly in any sense. And I just don't understand why trainers are covered under the same law here. Oh boy. Why is a crossbow not classified as a weapon even still? Because I think a crossbow is also used for a lot of sports, and sports are and apparently sports are okay. These butterfly knives have been for many years used as weapons. Now they aren't really used as weapons anymore. They are used more like a scale toy these days. So they're not exactly considered weapons by the eyes of the balisong community, and they're not exactly made to be weapons anymore. They are very specifically designed with flipping in mind, which is what I've been doing throughout this live stream as well. However, at their core, they are still considered weapons. I did not say that right, did I? At their core, they are technically still weapons. Like, something doesn't just become not a weapon anymore just because you made a lot of design changes. Even something as non-threatening as a plastic trainer, it is still a balisong, and balisongs are still weapons by the pure definition of it. So, even though they are technically not really used as weapons anymore, they are just skill toys these days, but, you know. Take the gambling law. If you know what you are doing, you could easily do it. Like, the thing with gambling, however, if you're going gambling, gambling is a very different beast when compared to balisongs. With gambling, you are the only person you are doing any harm to is yourself. And there aren't really any weapons involved. There isn't anything that could directly harm you physically. The only thing that you could potentially do any harm to is your wallet. And that is literally it. With balisongs, depending on which one you flip, there is a very legitimate risk involved in it. As I was saying multiple times throughout this live stream, this thing right here, this particular one is sharp as hell, and it can definitely be really dangerous to flip in any scenario. When you're not careful, you could cut a pretty big slice out of your paws if you were to flip this, and if you're not being careful with it. Now, the same thing can be true with the people around you. If you flip in public and this thing flies out of your paws, it could fly into someone else's paws or literally anywhere else and do some very severe damage. So that's the main difference there. If I want, I can just buy a crossbow and set it near me, and no one can say anything about it. I looked up the law for that, and I was like confused. How the hell is that not a weapon according to the law? I have no idea. Again, I think it has something to do with crossbows being used for sports. Because crossbows, I believe crossbows have been used for hunting for a long time. I think they actually still are being used for hunting for a long time. But they're also quite popular with sports for things like archery or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Then bow and arrow should be considered a weapon too, but yeah, the sport archery exists. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. Dutch law has very weird double standards like that, and I don't get it. I don't get it in the slightest. Because there's a lot of other skill toys, like ballad songs that would be considered illegal in a lot of places. But when you get certain variants of them, that is apparently okay in some places. Like, I know that ballad song trainers, for example, are legal in the United Kingdom and in Italy, for example. In Italy, if you wanted to own a ballad song, you can, so long as you just own trainers. In the UK, there are very specific rules in place for if you wanted to wield or carry or whatever a live blade ballad song, which is just a sharp ballad song essentially. You have to either have a patent for that, or you have to work a job where you need a knife of some kind. That is when an actual sharp butterfly knife is allowed. And in the Netherlands, ballad songs are weapons which are illegal. Pretty much. I honestly just think it is the most silly thing. Because, like I said, ballad songs are not really used as weapons anymore. They are used as a skill toy more than anything else. And I think it is beyond silly that at the very least a plastic trainer like this is not allowed. Because there is no way in hell that this could be mistaken for a knife when it looks about as threatening as it gets. Now this thing, I can kind of understand why it would be considered threatening to someone, because it's entirely black. But let me just grab one example from one of my favorite ballad song manufacturers who actually also made this thing. Squid Industries. They have this beautiful thing, which is in the same line as this trainer that I have here, the Squiddy. This is the OG Squiddy. And the OG Squiddy, as you can see, is a totally white ballad song, and it is the only ballad song that is explicitly designed to be flippable basically anywhere. So, if you wanted to flip this literally anywhere, including the Netherlands, you could do that. The question is, does this also come with the risk factor of getting either very badly fined, getting it confiscated, or getting you to jail? Because it is still a ballad song, it is still considered a butterfly knife, it is still considered a weapon. As far as Dutch law is concerned, anyway. So, I don't know. But if this actually would get me in, I do actually have plans to buy this, and if it turns out that I would also get into trouble for owning this, which is the most non-threatening balisong that you could ever buy, that would honestly make me laugh. I would just be like, dude, come on. It's a fucking squiddy. It's the most unthreatening thing in the whole world. It's white. It has a funny face on it. It doesn't even look remotely like a knife. Just let me flip. I'm smart. If I want to, I can make a tranquilizer. Oh, tranquilizer darts, and just trank someone. Yeah, quite expensive. Yeah, it's. You have no idea. Like, a lot of this kind of stuff, it doesn't really matter what you do. If you're into stuff like knives or any kind of flow arts or whatever, this kind of stuff is expensive. Like, I own a lot of balisongs. I think I own like 13, maybe 14 of them at this point. A bunch of balisongs that I actually own are currently sitting in front of me. I don't really have a proper place to store all of them, so I'm just spreading them out over my desk. It's becoming a little bit of a problem. But anyway, I can actually tell you how much all of my balisongs have cost me, because I don't really have all that much to hide about that. Starting with Squiddy Bee, this thing cost me 70 euros. The Volp, which is this thing right here, this cost 75 euros. BB Firefly, this beautiful bottle opener that I bought for literally no reason other than I thought it looked sick. It is goofy as hell, it feels weird to flip, and it has a bottle opener on the blade. 130 euros. That was this weird replicant clone that I bought for 70 euros. The one Benchmade 42 clone. Oh boy. I want to say this cost me 60, probably. I also own. I can actually take out my case for this. Let me just grab my case. I own a bunch more that I put in here. This is ridiculous. Oh boy, there's a lot of stuff coming out of here. Extrusion. 50 euros. Oh my god, I just have to... Oh, I still love the sound of this thing. It's just so good. Nabalis Morse, which is this thing. My first ever balisong, by the way. I don't know if I actually ever told this, but this is the first balisong that I ever got. 60 euros. Which is funny, it's because this is worse than this thing was. This thing cost me $50 and it flips a lot better than this thing does. Which is hilarious to me. Actually thinking about that. But yeah, $60 for that. I got this Counter-Strike 2. This curved monstrosity. I bought this for 45 euros. It basically cannot be flipped because it's so bizarre. It's curved. So I basically don't flip it. It's also heavy as all hell. So it does not feel good to flip, but it looks so goofy and weird and I love it. I love that thing to bits. Let's see. And then, last but most certainly not least, I own this beautiful thing. The Wing. 140 euros. So, I'm actually just gonna store one of my ballad songs here away. I'm gonna put this thing away because this thing is just loud as hell and I don't really want to... I enjoy flipping it from time to time, but damn, it's loud. Okay. So, with all of these ballad songs, how many do I actually own? That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's actually not as many as I thought I had. Wait a second. Am I missing one? Or is this actually all that I have? I seriously don't remember, do you? I need to recount this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's actually all of them. Okay. I legitimately thought I had 13 or something. Why did I think I have 13 actually? I just now come to think of it. Why did I think I had 13 ballad songs? Am I really that stupid? I don't know, but yeah. But yeah, I own a lot of these. So, I do actually kind of want to get more of these cases, because I do really love these cases. They're small, they're relatively compact because of that, and they keep my ballad songs safe from pretty much everything. I could just throw this across the room, and it would be totally fine. It's very rugged. Made out of very sturdy plastic. I love it. But yeah, all of my ballad songs are actually really cool, though. I love every single one of them. There's only one that I don't necessarily care for anymore, and that is the Morse, which is my first ballad song ever, and it kind of makes sense that I don't really care that much for it anymore because I kind of grew out of it. Not necessarily because it doesn't really grow with me very well as a flipper, but because a lot of the stuff that I ended up buying after that thing is just so much better for the price. Like, the Squiddy Bee, which is the one that I'm flipping right now, is actually my favorite one to just kind of mess around with. I flip this thing all the time, not necessarily because it's the best flipper in my collection right now, but because it is genuinely just really fun to fidget with. It's the ultimate fidget toy for me. If I want to fidget while I'm doing literally anything, or even just if I wanted to fidget at all with something, this is what I go to. And a lot of my other ballad songs, I primarily just kind of flip for the purpose of flipping them and improve my flipping skill a little bit more. Oh my god. Oh, I thought that a piece of skin was hanging for... I thought a piece of skin was loose for a second because I thought I cut myself early. But yeah, a lot of the ballad songs that I own in my collection are actually just kind of... not necessarily collection pieces, because I don't really have that many collection pieces. But I like to practice a lot of tricks on a variety of different ballad songs. Kind of alternating between the bunch. To see how they feel and to see how I like it, and to also just kind of improve my flipping skill in general, because this kind of hobby is not easy, and it is also a matter of different ballad songs feel different for different tricks, and I want to make sure that I get good at the tricks that I know how to do with the ballad songs that I know how to flip. I don't really want to do that many intricate stuff here because I'm not really sitting in a good place to flip right now. It's about as intricate as I will do it, the behind the 8 ball or whatever. So. But yeah. How long have we been going on for? Almost 2 hours. Holy shit. I didn't even realize that this live stream was going on for that long. Okay. I'll tell you what. This live stream has been going on for quite some time. I think it is about time for me to end this off here and to wish you all a wonderful rest of your days. Because my voice is kind of starting to hurt as well, and I also just kind of getting tired. And I feel like I should probably get some rest in a little bit. So we'll go do that. Anyway, guys, this has been really fun. I hope you all enjoyed this little live stream of mine. And I hope you all also enjoyed that Koen's Corner that I made recently. I would highly recommend you check it out if you haven't already, like I said at the beginning of this. And yeah, I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.